Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we do have a fair amount of work to do on repairs. Now, to that end, we also did lose a heatsink, and I can't for the life of me remember which mech it was on. So we're gonna have to tick forward a little bit here and check as our mechs finish up, which is not ideal under any circumstances. We're gonna stand back and let our well-equipped hospital staff do their job. Poet suffered an injury. Okay, well, that's fine. Poet will be back soon enough. 12 days right now, and actually 14, but that's completely okay. Okay, now the Orion just finished, and I know that the Orion had some internal damage, so let's check if it was the Orion that lost the double heatsink. Perhaps. Let's see here. I don't remember the Orion being underweight previously. So I'm pretty sure, yep, it was the double heatsink here. Great. Okay, so now we know which one it was, and we're just going to replace that with a double heatsink. We've got plenty of them. And 0.01 tons remaining. Can we get away with... No, we can't get away with an additional point of armor. Okay. Just wanted to double check that. We'll get that confirmed and ready to go. The Orion can be added to the end of the list. That will be just fine. Right. We are now most of the way through our repairs here, and we'll be done with them very, very shortly. Let's go ahead and continue to tick on forward for a couple of days. Okay. Before we tick forward another day here, we are no longer utilizing our third mech bay, so I want to make sure that there's no other internal damage to work on before we tick forward. If the mech bay loads. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so the Awesome's underweight. We already knew that. The Awesome was always going to be underweight. That's okay. So, sounds good. We'll tick forward 2 additional days.
I wrapped up that job you asked for,
and get Poet back. Perfect. Now, I've got 9 days on the financial report. Once again, I feel like I'm doing this a lot, but I'm doing it for efficiency's sake. I want to double check the mech bay, make sure everything's good to go now that all of our repairs have finished. Don't want to be blindsided by anything. Yes, this is fine. Okay, so we'll hop into the barracks next. All of our mech warriors are back, and so we'll just run through and do our training quick. Of course, we don't need to train mech warriors that are maxed out, and Brother is now added to that category. So that's also excellent. Chronic Toast gets a point of guts.
Mech warrior training complete.
There we go. Cold Fire and Coma are already maxed out. Muffin Top doesn't have anything. Paladin is maxed out. Panzer is now also added to the maxed out category. Excellent. Let's see here. Poet gets a point of piloting.
Training complete.
Cool. What else do we got? Rain gets a point of piloting as well. Fantastic.
Complete.
And Succubus is, of course, maxed out. No need to even look at her categories there. And Taboo is not ready to be trained. Okay, so that's all of that good to go. And we are ready to deploy. So what do we want to deploy to? I'm immediately drawn to perhaps this one. This is an assassinate mission in the Highlands. I mean, there's a lot of Highlands around here, but it's pretty good pay. Mediocre salvage. Is there anything that's higher pay? Yes. There's a battle here. That might not be too bad, actually. It's not as good of salvage, but we might be able to get a free priority salvage out of that. Let's go ahead and do it. Wait a second. 2 heavily armed lances? Okay, that's not a big deal. This is a free priority salvage here. This alone, not counting drop costs, ammo costs, heatsink costs, and repair costs, this alone will pay for the month tick. Cool. Counting those things, it won't, of course, but it'll get pretty close. We should be good to go as is. This should not require any changes right now. The only thing that I want to do is I want to go through and double check, like, anyone who is maxed out should be both maxed out and have affinities for the mech that they're in, like Paladin does. Panzer has affinities for the Corsair. Fantastic. And Brother, do you have Madcap affinities? Yes, you do. Okay, and that's all of our mech warriors who are currently maxed out. Okay, sounds good. Just wanted to double check that. Darius, you're a moron. Let's go. Fantastic. It's only a 5.5 skill, and we're not really expecting too much here. We're still trying to work up our mech warriors skill-wise, of course, and that's something that we can work on, and we're still tweaking our mech loadouts here and there. I wouldn't mind getting a few new chassis, like, I mean, the Madcap Mark II is something that I'm thinking about replacing. I don't know with what yet. I'm also thinking about replacing the Awesome. I'd like to replace the Orion as well. It's a little on the light side for what we're angling for here. All of these things, I need to think about what kind of a mech we want to replace it with, and then check to see what we've got available for things like quirks and hardpoints. We do have assault mechs available, there's no doubt about it. But for now, we need to destroy enemy units. In violation of local treaties, a significant combat unit consisting of 2 lances of mechs has dropped on Carver. Your task is to assault and dislodge the pirate force. You'll send a definitive message. Unsanctioned military operations on Carver will be eliminated with extreme prejudice. Leave none standing. Buckle up, Commander. 2 heavily armed lances? This is going to be tough. Well, I'll be the judge of that. We'll see how tough it's going to be.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Fantastic. Let's make sure we have everything loaded in. Looks like it is, so we'll go ahead and begin that mission. And that might be some of that cache pre-warming that RogueTech is doing these days. I don't know, maybe they fixed that material loading issue. We do have allies, okay, and we know the enemy units are up over this way. We know there's a second lance as well. We're going to just drop right here, basically where it recommends us to drop, and let's see what happens. Well now. That's interesting. That's very interesting. We'll see where the second enemy lance is. Now, last time we had a situation like this, we destroyed this on round 1, and we destroyed it too quickly and bugged the game.
I've got eyes on hostile.
But we do see the reinforcements. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, they're immediately moving in for a rear arc attack with that mongoose. That's pretty bold, actually.
I don't like how this is going.
Okay, we'll see what our allies do. Centurion moves up. Straight up one-shots the mongoose. Okay, cool. Well, that's one way to do things. We do see a longbow over here and a legend killer. There's also a marauder over there. Red Reaper turns around. That's a Black Knight variant. Okay. Shooting at the boar's head there. Getting some pretty heavy laser damage, but we are braced, so that's good. Okay, who do we move? We move the Salamander. We're going to move the Salamander up over to here.
I got you.
We're going to Warlord for increased rolls on clustering, specifically. And we're going to fire on this guy with AX rounds. This is going to shred this armor. That's a lot of medium X pulses. I don't want to take that shot again. And I don't want him to get to use that Vibro Sword.
Copy that.
Okay, so the Red Reaper has basically no armor left.
Critical hit.
Excellent. He's also unsteady, and now they're going to move not either of these 2 mechs. Cool. Let's see, phase 13. Yes, this will be fine. So they fire PPCs at the Madcap Mark II. They get nothing. Okay.
Commander?
The Orion is going to step up here.
I'm your spaniel.
Our goal? Hit the rear arc of this Atlas. It still has 60 evasive pips, but we're going to give it a go. And we're going to see what happens here. We got some internal damage there, and that's what we wanted.
Cobra strike.
Okay, cool. Phase 16, this is a unit that we don't know about. It'll be a guy over here, probably with a stealth field of some sort. Actually, it's just a marauder. Okay. Shoots at the bull shark. Things are looking fine over there. No big deal. Our ally is going to move next. It's a salamander, and it just sensor locks the marauder out there. Okay, and then fires on the other marauder. Interesting choice. Not to fire on the same marauder, but okay. This archer is going to move next, although it may be one of these guys moving first. We don't know what phase they move in. Yeah, the archer. Moves out, attacks our ally Shiltron. It's okay, we don't care. Next up is our Madcap Mark II.
Hey
The
there.
Madcap Mark II is going to position here,
Heading out.
and we're going to Warlord. We're going to fish in the Atlas's exposed... Is that center? Yeah, in the Atlas's exposed center torso here for some crits. We're going to fire the HMGs on X6 mode, and we're just going to fire as much as possible here.
Let's see how you like this.
Some solid crit fishing there. So that's a torso destruction on that Atlas. Unfortunately, the Atlas is going to get to move fairly soon, but the Fulcrum moves up, and our Mauler moves next. It can move into ideal range here for that heavy Gauss rifle, and I think this Atlas is straight up dead.
Got the drop on you, pal. I'm sorry.
I mean, we hit the leg, but that's going to be a knockdown,
Target's taking a...
and he actually just ejects. Perfect. So the Atlas is out of there. Next up, our ally shoots at the Red Reaper. Gets some internal damage, but also some armor. Okay, that's fine. Okay, the longbow moves and fires at the Shiltron. I love it. It's running arrow 4s. So that is a threat to us. The Bull Shark is going to step up, and the Bull Shark is going to start working on that longbow. We are going to Warlord it to boost these odds a bit, and we're just going to look to strip as much armor off of that longbow as we can. Longbows don't have much armor, so we're going to do a lot to it armor-wise. Excellent. Next up is going to be our Corsair. The Corsair is going to move up, I think, over here is fine. This is ideal range band for the Red Reaper. We're even going to Warlord it, and we're going to fire on this Red Reaper. We could easily kill it here. And there it goes.
That one's gone.
Beautiful. Next up is the Legend Killer. Okay. Finally, we have our Awesome, which can... It can get some LOS out over this way, I suppose. It's not ideal. 61.8 on that Marauder isn't bad, though. I want to see what the other one is. Yeah, 27. We're definitely going to take the 61.8 shot. And let's go ahead and fire on that Marauder, boosting those odds a little bit more. Nice. So that's a pretty big dent in their armor, and the Boar's Head is now going to move up over here. We're going to continue dropping artillery on that longbow. We don't want to take that arrow 4 shot if we can at all help it. We will boost our hit odds with Warlord. Now the longbow, it's not the most wounded right now, but we'll see what we get. That was a solid hit over here. Not so solid on the longbow. Okay. Cool. Allied turn, we'll see what they do. The Centurion moves up, does nothing. Okay. The longbow moves now. And doesn't fire. That's actually huge. Our friend the Salamander moves up, shoots at the Marauder. Okay. Makes it unsteady. I mean, it'll move right now, but it got some armor shred. We'll take it. It shoots at the Bull Shark. Gets a hit there. It's okay. The Bull Shark can take that.
System's holding.
Okay, so I'm interested in where this archer is going to go. It's the only remaining member of that lance. And they're continuing to hit the Bull Shark here, but the Bull Shark is fine. Like, it has a lot of armor. It's not in any danger.
Ready to
Our
rock.
Salamander is going to want to sprint up, like, over here. We're not going to be able to get LOS, and I'm just going to sink heat here. Okay. The Fulcrum is going to move through fire, take self-damage, and not do anything. Very useful. I'm glad it took that action. Now the Archer is going to pull further behind the hill and continue to go for the Children. Okay? I was hoping to move up with the Orion and get LOS on it. That's not going to happen now, but we can move up with the Orion over this way.
Affirmative.
And we have LOS on this Marauder and on this Marauder, which we actually have good hit odds on. So we're going to fire on this Marauder here.
Taking the shot.
Solid Gauss hit. And a good smattering of LRM damage, too. I like it. The Legend Killer moves next to the longbow and doesn't fire. Questionable. Very questionable. We're going to move up with our Bull Shark, and we're going to fire on that longbow once again. Very solid artillery damage there. I like it. I'm kind of hoping our allies go take care of that Archer. I mean, that's not going to do the trick, but it's a start, I suppose.
Yeah.
The Corsair is looking for LOS and doesn't find any, which is sad. Okay.
Good to go.
The Madcap Mark II is looking for LOS and doesn't find any. We're just going to move up and sink heat. Yeah, we walk through the fire, but that's okay.
Ready for orders.
The Mauler, once again, looking for LOS, does not find any. We're going to sink heat so that we can move faster next round.
Commander,
The Awesome does find LOS out over here,
moving to position.
and that's excellent. We can continue to fire on this Marauder, which its armor is getting pretty battered.
Confirmed.
So we'll do exactly that. We hit with one of the PPCs, but not the other, and a decent number of missiles.
Yes.
And
Go,
that
go.
Marauder is now unsteady as well.
Right here.
The Boar's Head is going to step up over here, and we're going to continue to fire on that longbow.
Okay, firing everything.
We got a crit there.
That looked like a critical.
I'm not exactly sure what we crit, but we crit something. Okay. Next up is our Orion, and the Orion actually does get LOS on that longbow. So we take that, and we're going to Vigilance the Orion. It is skylined, it is not in cover, it is in LOS of all four of these enemy mechs. We do not want them to take advantage of that, but we can hit this longbow over here. We can see that we took out one of the Arrow 4s already. That's perfect. Let's finish out the other one here. That'll be a knockdown.
Oh, I'm out of LRM.
Well, that kind of LRMs. You're not out of LRMs. You're out of listen kill. Okay, so that's a knockdown on the longbow, reserving it back to phase 8. The Centurion moves up, does not fire. The Bull Shark is going to move up over here. I'm actually going to start dropping artillery on the Legend Killer at this time.
Target confirmed.
Interesting. It's got AMS.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
Good to know. It is now panicked.
What do you need?
The Corsair is going to position here, where we can fire on the Marauder, and we have pretty decent hit odds. Can we boost those? Not yet. Okay. Not amazing, but okay on the armor removal.
How's it going?
The Madcap Mark II is going to sprint forward as much as it can, which is actually only here. Not ideal, but 51.3% will do on this Marauder. This will be a good armor removal.
Firing on
Maybe
target.
even a kill. And it is a kill. Beautiful.
Mech destroyed.
Exactly what we were hoping for there.
Skipper.
Now the Salamander. The Salamander can make its way out over this direction, angle like
Aye,
this,
Skipper. Full
and
speed.
it's
No target.
positioned to next turn round the circle on that Archer. But I want to fire on this Marauder out over this way. We're not firing AX ammo at this range, but we'll just fire improved MRM 40 ammo. Now, this Marauder has a lot of armor. I don't expect it to die here. But this will strip off a lot of armor and make him unsteady. Now, he hasn't moved yet, so it won't last. But the other salamander is actually going to attack the archer and strip off some armor. Sounds good. Cool.
Yes,
Our
Commander.
boar's head is going to step up over here. Now, we did eliminate that that guy over there. So, just thinking, we probably want to strip armor off of the Marauder. We did eliminate the longbow, so that's good. Okay. We'll get some armor strip off of that Marauder. That's a knockdown as well, so that's a big deal, actually. Structure exposure there, and pilot is bleeding out. Cool. Structure exposure in the CT. I like it. So phase 15 is going to be the archer moving. It backs further around and continues going for the Shiltrin, now in direct LOS. Interesting choice.
Yes, Commander.
The Mauler is looking for direct fire LOS here and doesn't find any. It's just going to advance up over this way for now. Okay, phase 14, the Legend Killer is going to move, but we're also going to see our ally move, and that'll be the Fulcrum. It fires at the archer and actually gets some decent armor damage there. Cool. We'll see what the Legend Killer does. It may go after the Orion. Yep, as expected. That's why we braced it. Excellent. That is completely and totally as expected.
Aye, aye.
The Awesome is going to close in over this way. I did just see an LOS here on that Marauder, and we're going to take that. I would like it if the Marauder wouldn't move.
Engaging target.
Yep, there we go. That Marauder is not moving again. Fantastic.
Tango down.
I'm wondering why it gave us allies for this. Okay. There's that guy down. I didn't expect him to die to that, but that's an ammo explosion. So, sounds good. All that's left is that archer. And now, it's our round. The archer moves in round 13.
Orders?
The Orion is going to sprint its way over here, and we are going to switch over to standard LRM-20s. We're just going to lob a few and hope to eliminate a little armor. This isn't going to do too much. Okay, sounds good. Now the Centurion is going to move back, fire on that archer, and also eliminate some armor. Sounds good. At this point, our Mauler is not really capable of getting into LOS, so we'll just move up over here. Cool. Salamander moves out, fires on that archer. This is going to do quite a lot and make him unsteady, which is actually huge. Structure exposure as well. Is it in the correct torso for our Salamander to take advantage of? It's in the right torso. So this one over here, no, it is not in the right, in the correct torso, should I say, for our Salamander to take advantage of. We're going to fire on the archer here.
Locked and loaded. Here it comes.
And that's a solid hit there. That was actually huge.
Reporting critical hit.
Yeah, this archer is super dead. Cool.
Yup.
So the Salamander is going to sprint into a direct LOS here. And yeah, this archer is super duper dead.
10-4.
And there we go. That was very easy, if I'm honest. That one was exceptionally simple.
Target down, Commander.
I mean, it was only a 5.5 scope. We failed the shutdown override, but it doesn't matter. Okay, let's get out of here. There were definitely a few lucky hits there that eliminated mechs a little quickly, but I mean, overall, that works very well. Our lances are quite effective. I don't think there's any real way around that. We do a lot of damage under the correct circumstances, and under incorrect circumstances, we do pretty good damage still. 1.7 million overall pay, not bad. We didn't take all that much damage, although Oof. That's a stray shot if ever I've seen one. Or no, that was the Mongoose backstab, wasn't it? Yeah. So overall, that shouldn't be too bad. Salvage-wise, what do we want from that? Anything? I mean, we only have the one priority salvage. I guess we could get a replacement Arrow 4, but we've got 3 of them. There's that combat shield. Engine heatsink +2. Bunch of double heat sinks. We've got plenty of them. There is a PPC capacitor here. But I don't think that's actually good. I don't like those sorts of mechanics, generally speaking. Things that add a chance to fail. I'm usually not a fan of rolling those dice. I guess we'll just take the Arrow 4 and call it good. We don't need the UAC 5, I don't think, but we'll keep it around. We only have 2, so that'll be fine. As far as damage goes, I don't expect this to even be like 100,000 C-bills worth of damage. We may even yet be able to deploy this month tick, which would be amazing if that's true. It is, however, about time to put a cut in here, so once we know what Yang thinks that this is going to cost, I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and let's see what exactly Yang thinks this is going to cost. Sadly, we're still loading. RogueTech can be a little slow sometimes, but it should be done pretty soon here. Excellent. Here we go. What do you got for us, Yang? Under 100,000. Nice. 16 days for the repairs is not accurate. We have 9 days on our financial report, and this is not going to take 9 days to repair. So we can definitely deploy before the financial report again. That's really good. I'm very, very happy to see that. Already did the intro, though, or rather the outro, and so I will see you all next time.